Hi, I'm Anna. I'm the kids bookseller at Books Inc. on Chestnut, and I just wanted to tell you about a few of my favorite books. This is one of my favorite board books, Jamberry. It's an older book, and it's a lot of fun. It's got a lot of rhyming, so that's a lot of fun for really young kids, and some great illustrations. And this would be good for kids ages about 0 to 3. So that's one of my favorite board books. Moving on to picture books. This is one of my favorite recent picture books. It's the Duchess of Whimsy, an absolutely delicious fairy tale. And this is by Randall DeSev and Peter DeSev, who's an amazing illustrator. This is all about the Duchess of Whimsy, who is a very fantastic young woman, and the Earl of Norm, who is rather boring, she thinks, but it turns out that he is pretty great. All it takes is one amazing grilled cheese sandwich that makes her look like this for her to realize that normal can sometimes be a lot of fun, and they end up finding out that they like each other quite a bit after all. One of my other favorite picture books, probably my favorite book from the last year, is Bink and Golly. This is by Kate DiCamillo, who's an amazing author, and Allison McGee, and Tony Fucilli, who's a lot of fun illustrator. I actually asked for this for Christmas this year and received it, much to my delight. So this is about two young girls, Bink and Golly, who live together. One lives at the top of the tree, and one lives at the bottom of the tree. And they just have a really wonderful friendship. The writing is absolutely wonderful. It uses words like compromise and bonanza. So it got some harder vocabulary in there, as well as just wonderful little stories. This is kind of 3 shorter stories. This is really great for kids kind of 4 on up. It's good for young readers too, ages 6 and 7, learning how to read. So that's really wonderful. Then you have, this is my favorite graphic novel of all time. This is Bone, the first in a series of 9 graphic novels. It's very funny, and it's turns out to actually be a very big, long quest, so it's also very adventurous, and it's about these 3 bones from Boneville who kind of wander into this fantasy land and have to help the residents there defeat the evil Lord of Locusts. So it's a lot of fun. Moving on to middle grade readers. This is another one by Kate DiCamillo, who is one of the writers of Bink and Golly. This is The Magician's Elephant, and it's basically just one of the most beautiful stories that I've read in a long time. It's all about a young orphan who is kind of trapped in this relationship with a soldier. He's in training to be a soldier and doesn't really know where his life is going, and then a magician calls up an elephant in the middle of an opera house, and suddenly he starts believing that anything is possible, and he goes on a search for his sister, who he didn't think was alive, and it's just really, really beautiful. Another excellent middle grade is The Girl Who Could Fly. This is a wonderful book, particularly for girls kind of ages 8 and up. It's got a lot of adventure and a lot of heart to it. It's kind of Anne of Green Gables meets the X-Men, kind of. It's all about basically a girl who can fly, and she's from this farm out in the middle of nowhere, and then this woman comes from a school for girls for people with special abilities, and takes her away, but the school is not all it seems to be, and she ends up having to rescue her friends and depend on their friendship, and you know, it made me smile a lot and cry a little bit too, so this was absolutely wonderful. And then one of my favorite young adult books is Graceling. This is by Kristen Kishore, and this is for people around ages 13 and up. It's, again, another really great book for girls. It's got an incredibly strong female character who is kind of graced with this terrible gift that she doesn't really know what to do with. She's an amazing fighter, very strong but very conflicted, and it's all about her finding her own identity and her own kind of self-empowerment, and it has a wonderful relationship at the core of it too that's very healthy, which is wonderful in young adult books, a healthy relationship. So this is really another one of my favorites. So thanks for listening.